Dapper Dan fam, what is going on, man? We are back at it again, episode 4, and we are here. Boog, what's good, baby?
What's up, bro? It's another blessed Friday.
Man, it's another day. We getting it in. Last episode was good, man. Accountability, man, the word of the day.
Yeah, bro. It was a solid episode. But let's keep this temperature rising, bro, because we on to something now.
No, definitely, man. We getting, once again, man, getting good feedback. Everything's been settled. We're starting to get the flow of things, and everything is flowing properly. So, man, I'm definitely excited today, man. And I think this topic is also a good topic. Because I had one person ask me about it, and another person asked me about it recently. So I think some people have been wondering about this. Basically about when are men ready to have babies? So baby fever. When are men having that fever where they're like, ooh, I need a baby now?
Yeah, nah, for sure. There's a multitude of perspectives on this though, because like some men are anxious and ready, and some men are coy and they're quiet about their ambitions. They're just nervous for that to step into the big show per se. So this is definitely a topic that we definitely need to touch on.
Yeah, because I think it's obviously it's normal. Women, they usually had a baby fever. You know what I mean? They're obviously the ones that carry it, but they're the ones that's usually around their girlfriends that are having babies, seeing baby pictures. Right. It's just normal for them to be caretakers. That's what they are. Right. But it's just different scenarios for a male, though. You know what I mean? Some males are ready, some males are not. Some males want to wait on this. Some people want to wait on that. But what's your perspective on it? When did you have baby fever?
I didn't necessarily have baby fever. And I'll say this, that I've always had this dream of being a young dad because I've always wanted to run around with my kids and do all the extracurricular activities with them. You know what I mean? Get on the court, play ball with them, go to ballet practice, mommy, daddy and me, all that shit. I wanted to do all that.
Yeah.
But it didn't really register until I stepped into the moment. So it's kind of like I was hit, boom, like you're having kids. So I'm not saying I didn't have time to have baby fever, but I was just not thrown into the responsibility, but I had to step into the responsibility of preparing myself to become a father. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like I was like, oh yeah, I'm ready for it. And let's do this. Let's settle down. And I didn't go through all those motions. It was more so of, here you are. Welcome to fatherhood. You know what I mean? So I didn't have that. Yeah.
Here's the baby.
Here's the babies. I didn't have that moment in time where I was like, yeah, okay, cool. I'm ready to have a child, let alone children. I didn't go through the whole process of thinking like, are you financially stable? Are you ready for this? You ready for that? That was out. All that shit went by the wayside. So I was just really just like put into fatherhood, and it was one of those put up or shut up moments.
Let me ask you this. What do you think, if you had to pick like two things, and obviously everyone is not ready. No one is ever fully ready to have a baby. But if you had to pick two major things, what made you feel like you didn't have baby fever, what would it be? What are like the two main things that made you say, well, this was really not really going, or this was going, but it wasn't what I thought. So that made me not be in a position to say, yo, I'm ready to have a baby now. What two things would you say?
Well, my situation is different, bro. I moved across the country for a woman. Right. So I haven't even gotten myself together. Like I haven't settled down and figured out the new town, moving from Maryland all the way to San Diego, 3,000 miles away and by myself. So that I didn't have time to like actually fully settle down and like hunker down and set up a life for myself. Because it's my first time moving out the crib. I was living in my mother's basement until I was 24. Moved out, you know what I mean? I'm fresh on the scene. Got my own. I moved in with Ashley. Matter of fact, I didn't even get my own spot. I moved in with Ashley to get myself situated, and then boom, fatherhood. So that's one of them. I think that's probably the only one, bro. Because
only thing.
I didn't really have time. I didn't have It wasn't like a financial situation. I knew I had a good job waiting for me out there. I guess financially though. I didn't think I wasn't at the time. I was at an entry level position. I was working at Enterprise rent a car. I was making close to shit considering living in California. So I didn't have the money that I thought I was going to have up front right away.
That's crazy. You was about to pass up on that financial.
Yeah, I know I was. I know I had to think
that.
about it. I had to think about it again. Like I was gonna pass up on that shit. That would have been bad. But yeah, no, financially, I was barely making $50,000 a year. So I was just, by then, but it was also like a reality check, and it kind of like forced me to go harder because I had to get the fuck up and get on my shit because in 9 months, somebody's gonna be calling you daddy or they're gonna be crying at you. You know what I mean? So I didn't have a lot of time to adjust and really sit down and think like, okay, cool, I'm ready to have children, and you know what I mean? Like I always saw don't get it wrong, I always saw myself being with Ashley. So I don't want people to think that this was just by surprise, no, and that she tricked me and all this extra shit. No, that's not how the story went. Like we literally, I saw myself with Ashley in the long run.
And it just happened faster than what you expected. That's all.
Exactly.
You had things, you know where you wanted to go, but niggas took the easy pass. They got on the easy pass joint.
Yeah,
go.
Man. I was cashing
out. I go, nah. I definitely respect it, and I'm glad that you are where you are now because, you know, I'm a firm believer, man. Everything happens for a reason.
For
you
sure.
know what I mean? Sure. Your faith and your journey happened the way it happened for a reason. You know what I mean? You're here now. You did what you had to do in the beginning on the front end, and now things are a little bit smoother on the back end. So yeah, it works out perfectly. But for me, it's a little different. Like for me, I've always wanted to shoot the club up and shoot a club up and have a baby, man. Like I always wanted to be a young father. Like to me, that was like, not gonna say it was a dream, but it was something that was on my list to do. You know, I didn't want to be an older guy, and for me, I'm gonna say older guy is maybe in my 40s or in my high 30s. That to me is an older guy. No disrespect to anybody else.
Sure.
But, you know, like, to be honest, man, if I could have had a kid if I could have had a kid at 25, I would have had a kid at 25. I really could have. Yeah, man. Like, yo, I'm like, and the thing about it is, I think a lot has to do with it. Yes, financially ready. Yes, are you mentally ready for it? You know what I mean? Are you, spiritually ready for it? Like, do you have that time to do it? But I think one thing is like your upbringing.
So let me ask you this question then. So you mentioned mentally ready. What does mentally ready look like for you when you're stepping into a situation you've never been to, but never been put into?
Mentally ready for me is being willing to accept a bigger responsibility other than yourself, right?
So being selfless.
Yes. You know what I mean? That to me is what I consider somewhat ready. Like I said, you're never going to be fully ready. No one's ever fully ready. But I was willing to say, you know what? I will stop worrying about myself so I can worry about somebody else. And like I said, for me, it might have just been my upbringing. You know what I mean? Like I'm very family oriented, grew up with a lot of cousins, just family, just everything. That to me is like, that's huge. And I always wanted to have my own family. You know what I mean? You grow up with a son or a boy, play sports or have dinners and do all the family stuff. So for me, I was always ready for that. I'm not going to say like I didn't like going out and stuff like that. Yeah, I enjoyed it. But I think my bigger picture was like, yo, I want to be established in my life and have a family. You know what I mean?
I can see, I see where you're coming from that aspect. Because I mean, we always want to stay young and do the party shit 24/7. I mean, we lived that lifestyle. When I was back home in Maryland, shit, we was out fucking Tuesday through fucking Sunday. Like, you know what I mean? We always
You
wanted. No, it wasn't just me. There was a couple of homeboys that was with me. There was a couple of homeboys that was with me. I wasn't just by myself. I don't want people to think I'm a fucking weirdo, but you know what I mean? We want to stay young forever and live in that space, you know what I mean? Hang out with the guys. And I think you start learning how to transition yourself into fatherhood and learn how to settle the hell down because you have kids. Like once you're integrated into the process, once you see the time and effort you put into your children, it kind of like, it's everything just smooths itself out.
When would you say that transition would be? Because like for me, the transition would be when I start to see my other guys around me starting to have kids. When would you say that transition of starting to say, okay, yeah, I think I might be ready for a kid? When would you say this?
I agree with you in that when it comes around, you know what I mean? When it's your group, you start seeing your friends starting having kids. I think out of our friend group, it was me and you were really the first, like out of our core group, me and you were the first two to have children that I could think of. There's a couple people. You
real cool with Nick, you know.
Oh yeah, I'm tripping. Nick, yeah. So like watching him with how he is with his daughter and how he was able to juggle both being a father and hanging out with his boys. But seeing the pictures and the videos they do together, you can feel the love through the phone. You know what I mean? Like you could see it and you can understand. You understand that like you really will love this person from the moment you fucking see them, which is the craziest shit to think about. But yeah, definitely. That's like, I think once I saw that, I was like, all right, okay, I can see myself in that space. You know what I mean? I can see myself being a dad, young dad out here. I'm well off with a good job. I'm grinding hard for my family, bringing home the bacon, making sure everybody's taken care of. You can vision yourself in that space, but it's a difference between visioning yourself in that space and actually being in that space.
Totally different. And that brings up like other scenarios. Like, so we had your scenario where, not saying you weren't fully ready, but you kind of took the fast route to it and it just happened. You know what I mean? So you were already ready to say, you know what? I want to be a dad. It happened faster than what I thought, but I'm committed to it. And then on my point of view, I'm like, yo, I'm ready. Bring it. You know what I mean?
And also with your situation too, you also got to think, you got the picture perfect story. You know what I mean? You got married, you found Jasmine, y'all fell in love, you got married, then you settled down, you had children, you know what I mean? And that's kind of like the way people want to see shit go in their life, but sometimes it doesn't. And it's okay if it doesn't. You know what I mean?
So what about this scenario when men are not ready? They don't have baby fever at all. So, and it could be the same situation with me and you, like, so that you already have a significant other, you know what I mean? You've been with them for a long period of time. And you guys, say, for example, you are married, say, for example, you do have your own spot, you are financially stable, and this person still doesn't have baby fever, or I'm not even gonna, let me not give people an excuse to be like, well, I don't have baby fever. They're still not ready to have a kid. What do you think? What would you say some of the reasons you could point out if you were in that person's shoes and things were going well for you and you didn't want to have a kid? What would be some of the reasons for that?
Well, they don't want to mess up what they have going on, for one.
Why messing up what? Like what
like
is what?
They don't want to, like last episode, we were talking about our routines and how we're as humans, we're routine people. I think that with having the luxury of having all the extra time on your hands for you and your significant other to go out to dinner, go to movies, go out and sleep in on the weekends, and you know what I mean? And not have to worry about that extra responsibility. I can see how men, well, you know what I mean? They kind of get complacent in their own space and, hey, she's happy, I'm happy, we're cool, we're here.
So selfish. That's basically it right there, man. You're selfish to give up that time for another person.
Yeah, I mean,
selfishness.
Is it selfishness though? Because like the child isn't here.
Yeah, but like I said, you remember when you asked me, you were asking me like what does it mean to be mentally ready for you? And what did I say? I said giving up my time.
Okay.
You feel me? I said giving up my time that I usually do to say like, yo, I will put that time into somebody else. And you said, what did you say? You said that
being selfish. I did.
Selfless.
But is it selfish? Is it selfish? It's one thing for that child to be here and it's being selfish. It's another just saying that it's not that I'm not ready to have children. I just like the time that I have now, and I like the way my life is. I don't think that's kind of selfish though.
Okay, so I would say so.
You see what I'm saying? Because like, who's to say you and your significant other, right? She obviously wants to have children at some point in y'all relationship, and you're just cool with just having this time to focus and mend you guys together even more and grow to be this strong, powerful power couple.
So let me, and like I said, man, I'm always gonna play devil.
I know you are.
So you're saying you want to mesh with somebody. So I'll give you a scenario. You've been with someone for 5 to 8 years. You guys are married. What is the wait? Like, what's going on now? Because you can't say like, yo, I want the time to do this, that, and the third. You know, you did a lot of that. You did a lot of that. And now it's come down to a time where it's like, yo, you know what? I gotta be selfless.
But is that selfishness? I guess I just don't see the point of it being selfish if it's physically not there. Like you're saying, I feel like you're saying it's being selfish to the thought of having children and like you giving yourself up to like be there, you know what I mean? Like do all the daddy do's and shit like that versus like physically being selfish and saying, okay, I know my child's here. I haven't seen my kid all day, but I'm still gonna go to the fucking gym and go play basketball. I'm
about to give you a great example. I'm about to hit you on the head. Don't worry.
I'm waiting for it because I just don't. I'm battling the selfishness statement.
So say, for example, because you're saying you don't see it as being selfish if it isn't here. It hasn't happened yet. It's just basically an idea of the situation. So I'm about to give you an example. So you want to go out, you want to golf, right?
Yeah.
Ashley says like, yo, next Saturday, I'm thinking about, yo, we should take the kids here. We should do this with the kids. We should do that. It's not set in stone. It's just an idea of what she would like to do. Hold on. It's an idea of what she would like to do. On your scenario, you say, you know what? I don't want to do that. I want to go golfing. I want to do what I want to do. Now, right now, what is that? Is that
See, it's then okay. If that's the case, then we're walking a very, very thin line then, because it's totally different than Ashley hinting to something and say, hey, we want to take. I'm thinking about taking the twins so and so, and me being like, no, fuck that, I'm going golfing. That's just first of all, that would never happen. But two, that is just by the way, like that's dead. What I'm saying is okay? Then clarify this to me. Then let me ask you this question then. Is it being selfish to the idea or is it being selfish to your significant other? Because no,
it's both. I think you know why? I'm going to tell you. It's both because number one, it's selfish. It's selfish because you know that your significant other will be a lot happy if that happened, right?
Okay. So then my next question is this. So is that conversation brought to the forefront? Like, is she consistently saying, hey, I think we should, is she the one having the baby fever? Because that wasn't said in the situation. You just said in the scenario, we've been together for X amount of years. You didn't say like, if she's like hinting around to it, or is she, you know what I mean? If she's hinting around to it, 100% I agree with you. But if we're just in a relationship and she's happy and I'm happy, that's not selfish, bro. Because there's no kid here. We want our own time.
That's perfect. And you know what? That's my bad. Now I gotta take accountability that I did that.
You need to communicate that, bro.
I didn't put that in. So let me tweak my scenario. So you've been with each other this, that, and the third. She is having some type of baby fever. She is ready to have a kid and she is ready to start a bigger family, she is hinting that, and you at the same time are saying the things that you're saying. Yo, I like the way things are going here. I like how we're dating. I like how we're moving. I like our freedom. I like this, that, and the third. Like, yo, I just like where we are right now in a life. I'm really not ready for that. And for me, the only reason I say that is selfishness is because you guys have already had a good amount of time to do the things that you want. And now for her, she is willing to, I guess, take the back seat sometimes to be like, yo, let me ride out and let him do what he want to do. Let him, go on the dates. Let him sleep in late. Let him do that. And I'm going to take the back burner. But at some point, it's being selfish, right?
Then it's that's being selfish. Okay, now that we've clarified the situation, that's being fucking selfish. That's different. Then we need to reevaluate our relationship. We need to see where our steps are at, like where, because obviously she's a chapter ahead than I am. You know what I mean? Like, we got to find this middle ground and like when, and if that shit doesn't work out, then y'all, I mean, unfortunately, I don't see why she should move forward in this relationship. Because if she wants a child bad enough, she's going to do whatever it takes to have that child. You know what I mean? Not saying she's going to be out just sleeping with anybody, but she's going to want to be with somebody that has the same vision and goals as she does.
Yo, but then, yeah, you're right. But
see what I'm saying? Like that, then that comes a reassess. That's a reassessment on your relationship at that point.
But what about people like, so it's easy to do that. It's easy to do that when you're dating someone. But what about people that are married? What about people that are married for a good amount of times, 5 years, 4 years? There's people out there that are, and they saying the same thing you saying. Yo, I like when we go to happy hour together.
For sure.
I like when we go on trips together. I like when we do this. I'm really not ready. I'm not ready. So at some point, I'm just like, to me, and this is just talking for me, if you're going to say that, you got to give me some type of time stamp or something.
Yeah, if there's no timeline to anything, 9 times out of 10, it's just going to fall over. It's not going to, you need to put, I know.
Pump fakes.
Yeah, hey, no, we're not pump faking. Nah, if she really wants to have that child with you and she wants to, and you're saying, okay, we need to take our time with it. That's just a fucking Band-Aid over a gunshot wound. Like, she needs to really, like, okay, cool. Like, when are we talking about it? Like, hey, is it within the next 1 to 2 years, 2 to 3 years? If it's not, if the stars are not aligned, then unfortunately, I think that really you guys need to reevaluate your relationship. Because one, you reevaluate your relationship because there's no commitment. Like, there's commitment in your relationship, but like there's no external commitment, like as far as like parenthood, right? Mm-hmm. Remember how last episode I was telling you, no matter what, you're going to be fit. You're tied to this person for the rest of your life because It's going to be you, her, and then this other individual. You don't have that commitment right away. You know what I mean? So it's just you two. So, okay, if you guys get divorced, it's just you two. It's a little bit easier. It's a little easier said than like if you guys would have physically have the child. So you're best to have this conversation up front versus waiting, you know what I mean, till you guys end up getting pregnant. And then now you're in the parenthood phase and he's tuned out. He's not ready for it. And then he's really going to show he's not ready for it. And then that's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, you definitely need to reevaluate the relationship. But I think the biggest thing is, there has to be some type of timestamp. I think that is something we agree on. If you are going to say those things and still want to live your life, I would say if you're not being selfish, the best thing you do is just say, hey, like, I'm not ready for that, but maybe in the next year or so, or maybe in the next 2 years, I will be ready. You know what I mean? So this situation, I don't think this usually happens, but maybe we might hear something back from reviews. So this scenario is flip-flop. So the guy, he's ready to have the baby. He has baby fever. But then the female, she's saying, she got to work on her career. You know what I mean? She got some things in the work. She don't want to really mess with that. How do you feel in that situation, man? because tables are turned.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna feel some type of hurt because she's a goal-driven individual. You know what I mean? She's had her eye on the prize for the longest time.
Mm-hmm.
I would feel hurt, and not like hurt. Like I'd feel hurt to the sense of like we're not on the same page. You know what I mean? Like she's trying to get this ultimate goal, and I'm trying to, you know what I mean, solidify my household.
So I'm about to really, you know me, I'm about to really play the cards right.
Okay.
Right? I'm about to hit you with two things. First, is it acceptable now for her to give you a time frame? Because you know now that the lens is flipped, you're in her shoes now, and you want the baby. Is it okay for her to be like, yo, maybe in the next 2 years or so, yo,
see, that shit enough. That shit is fucking dead, Fred. Well, maybe in the next 2 years. Fuck all that. No, that shit.
That shit. Yo, they about to eat you up, yo.
Because you're not. No, because what you're saying is like the way you're saying it is making it seem as like if it's in like it's just like okay, it's just like to get him to shut the fuck up. No, it's not. We need to have like a physical, you know what I mean? It'd have been, and they can't eat me up. The hell with that, because it would be the same thing if it was me saying that to Ashley. You know what I mean? And
we just finished up and saying like, yo, as long as the male give a time frame, everything's good. Like you're not really being selfish. If you saying like, yo, babe, you know, in the next year, so we can really focus.
That, but if she's teeter-tottering, like, well, maybe, no, it's not a well, maybe. It's kind of like hey, like, this is something that I've been dying for. I've been ready to have this child with you because you're a fantastic, fantastic woman. Like, when can I expect us to try to move into that space? Gotcha. And she's like, oh, well, maybe this, that, and the third. No, it's either it's going to happen or it's not, because having a child is a serious, serious thing.
So, and then this is my second one. Tell me your feelings now when you're at that space in life where all your friends have had kids, right? Not all of them, maybe like 70 to 60%, right? Yeah. Y'all are out. They start hitting you with the, yo, so when are you and Tasha gonna have a baby? And you hit them with the, yeah, yo, she want to work on her career. She said maybe in another year or so.
Me, I'm a salty dude. I'm gonna have the stale face the whole time they talk to me. I'm gonna be so. If I'm in this situation, bro, I'm so salty. I'm just gonna look at them with the stale face and just be like, bro, listen. When the time is right.
Damn.
That's the easiest way to ice it over, just to your homeboys. That just because your homeboys, they in that space and you really want to be there and you're not there. That's just like you being around a bunch of people that's just getting to the goal that you wanted to get to and you just can't get to it for some reason. It's gonna bug you. You're gonna be like, bro, I don't want to talk about this.
Yo, just think about it, yo. Just think about it, yo. Even though we can't really speak for females right now, but just think about the feeling that you say you would have, and just think about how many females are feeling that some way. You know what I mean? That same type of feeling now that you said, like, yo, and you know, women, they not really like us. Like we go into the bar and we got kids, we're not bringing our kids. But the women, they might go out to lunch or whatever. They got their kids with them.
Strapped up.
So they're like, yo, Tasha, so when are you and Lawrence gonna make it official? And she hits them with the stale face, like, yeah, he said maybe like in a year or so. So that's tough for them.
It's tough. Yes, it's tough. Yes. No, I get it. It's tough because everybody else around you is experiencing what you want to experience. Like that shit would eat me alive. And I know and I understand the woman's perspective. I get that. Like it could eat. Oh man, I couldn't even imagine, bro.
Yo, be honest. I think for me, man, I'm trying to
salty as shit too. Don't even.
No. Yo, as long as she gives me a solid time frame now.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
So she gives me a solid time frame.
Yeah. So as long as she gives me a solid time frame, like she's like, yo, babe, like next year, I'm good. Like I'm ready, right? What's really gonna burn me up though? I'm gonna give you that year. Maybe I might give you a year.
So what happened? Okay, so this is gonna lead to my next question. What's gonna happen if you get to this year and she has the super bag waiting for her, and you gotta wait another 2-3 years? But you know in the end that y'all gonna be taken care of, and she's gonna be ready to settle the fuck down and have this child. Like she knows this.
Ooh, that's a tough one. Because I was just about to say I already had another baby. But yo, see now that's so, a really tough.
So she's fighting. So now so y'all got into the space, y'all together. You want to have a baby. She's saying, I'm not ready yet because just financially where I am. But I say within the next year. No, but wait, no. I'm saying she says, so she puts a stamp on it, right? She says within the next 1 or 2 years. You go to 1 or 2 years, now an opportunity for her pops up, and y'all are going to be set. I'm not saying she's going to be making fucking millions, but y'all going to be set.
Yo, that's tough.
Are you staying or are you going?
I gotta stay. Now I might give her hell. Some night. But yo, I gotta stay because, once again, man, financially stable. I'm talking about, she said we're gonna have that bag, the duffel bag, you know what I mean? At the Clearport, we there.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
you got wants and needs. So how do you reevaluate the situation? Would you rather be with somebody who says the wait and we're gonna be very well off on the back end of this whole thing, or would you rather be with somebody who wants to have a child, who's ready to have a child, who is just not saying she's just staying afloat, but she's comfortable in her space. You know what I mean? She's making solid money. You know what I mean?
For me, I'm gonna say someone that's comfortable in their space. And the reason I say that is because from right then and there, I know that they are willing to do and commit to the things that I want to do too. You know what I mean? So we're somewhat at the same level. With the other scenario with the girl, I know now in life that certain stuff will stop her from doing the things that we want to do together. You know what I mean? So like, for example, the big, and
that's a good evaluation right there. I didn't even think about that. That's a good evaluation.
And when people say, yo, you gotta read people when they show you their true colors, that's their true colors. She's showing you right now that, listen, if I really want something in life, I gotta put your shit on the back burner, right? Yeah. Now, she could put it on the back burner once. She put something else on the back burner twice. Now it's a fiasco. You know what I mean? So that's what I said, yo. I gotta go with the person that's like, yo, you know what? I'm only at 48,000. I'm at 30,000, but we're gonna make it work. Like, I know you got a good job. I'm gonna do whatever it takes. I can hang with that because, like I said before, right now she's showing me, man. She's showing me she got my heart. She got something that a lot of people don't have. But the other person, she got my heart too. But she's also saying, like, listen, I got a little bit of selfishness in me. And going forward in life, yo, when a baby come, I might say, like, yo, I don't even think I'm ready for another one because I got to get back off my shit. You feel me?
Yeah, bro. I think we found that the word of the day for this episode is selflessness. Selflessness, rather.
Selflessness. That's it, yo. I'm telling you, when you put that joint at the top,
Yes, that's the theme of this episode, bro. Because you got, at some point in time, whether you're ready or not, you gotta give yourself up. You gotta be able to just say, put yourself on the back burner for once.
Yo,
you know what I mean? If you're in a relationship with somebody who's able to put themselves on the back burner for you,
yo, and that's crazy that you said that, because if you just think about all four scenarios, we talked about your scenario where you knew where you wanted to go, but you got there very fast. We talked about my scenario where I already know where I wanted to go and I was ready. You talk about another person's scenario where they want to get to that place and they can't. Next scenario, the other person wants to get to that place and they can't. And every single one deals with someone in the relationship being selflessness, selfless. You know what I mean? Me saying like, yo, I'm ready to give that up. You saying, you know what, shit, I'm here. I got to get that shit up. I got to do what I got to do. The next person saying, you know what, I know you want that. I'm gonna be unselfish right now. You know what I mean? So like all of that ties back to being selfless. You know, is it selfless? Selfless. Is that the word? Selfless. Yeah, okay, cool. I'm not the best person.
No. I know it's Friday. I know it's the end of the week for us. That's the word. That's the word you're looking for.
Yeah, selfish for 500.
No, bro, but yeah, it's much easier when you're able to give yourself up in your relationship, and then when you step into parenthood, it's like, all right, I'm here. See, me, I'm a selfless person already from the go. Like my homeboys, like I always make sure they taken care of before I take care of myself. I've always been that type of person. Make sure everyone's around me good before I take care of myself. Ashley is the same way. Ashley will take care of everybody else before she takes care of herself. That's how I knew once we stepped into this realm of having children. She gives herself up, bro. She doesn't do shit for herself, but take care of these damn babies all day long. And sometimes I get selfish a little bit. I ain't gonna lie, I do, because you know what I mean. Everybody wants that time to try to get back to their old ways while you have children. Not gonna work all the time, but you know, you have those instances. But you also check yourself at the door. You know what? Nah, it's not about me.
Yeah,
let's get back to these kids.
Yeah, you're so right, man. When you meet someone that you see that will take the shirt off their back and give it to somebody else, to me, that's attractive. You know what I mean? Because, like I said, I'm not just looking for the night. I'm looking for the long run too. I'm like, yo, shit, if she took her shirt off her back to give, you know, her friend, shit, I know that she'd do that for her family. I know she'd do that for me. It's little things that, you know, women and men can do that actually shows what type of people they are. You know what I mean? And those same characteristics would transition into you being a parent. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So it's big that we pick up on those things, those little characteristics that we might brush off or go by like, you know what, man, Shorty always give me her meal, or she always give me her drink. You know, that's what she is. But she's showing, that's what type of person I am. I give you my last. You know? So
that's what you want.
That's it's really the biggest thing, man. It really is, at the end of the day, just mean someone that is willing to compromise for you too, you know, and just willing to go the extra mile and say, you know what, you go golfing today, Lawrence. It's cool. We can do whatever the kids want to do next week. You know, I'm gonna chill with them. That right there makes me feel great.
Bro, she's actually, I'm going golfing tomorrow, but she said that earlier this week. She was like, hey, I'm going to meet up with so-and-so, take the kids, you go golfing. And after that, I just was like, oh my God, bro. I was like, you're the best. You know, you got to have those random acts with your significant other because they deserve it at the end of the day, you know?
Nah, you're so right on that, man. And it's probably one of the best feelings.
Yeah, bro. Hey, listen, episode 4, we did our thing. I think.
What? Tell them the word of the day again, man.
Word of the day: selflessness.
Y'all gotta get that in y'all body, man. Everybody,
in your body, incorporate it.
Women and males.
Incorporate it in your relationship. Y'all will understand what it truly is to be happy when you guys implement that. You know what I mean? Moving forward. But Thank you guys for tuning in. Check us out, of course, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, YouTube. Make sure you follow us on IG, Diaper Dads, diaper.dads, of course. Episode 5 will be out again next week, guys. We're very excited. Hope you enjoyed watching this just as much as we enjoyed recording it. We'll talk to you guys soon.
All right.
Out.